All right. This is like third or fourth video I've recorded sitting here, but um, anyway, I'm going to jump in, do a daily lasagna. Um, it's kind. I didn't do it this morning just because I got in from Las Vegas at about 2 a.m. and I wasn't getting up at 5 a.m. It just wasn't going to happen. So anyway, I got home. I think I got to sleep around 3 or 3:30. Got up this morning about 10. Um, got some stuff done. Scheduled a call with the sponsor. Just worked some of this other stuff out, and then I went to lunch with somebody who's moved into the area. He wanted to get to know the local tech scene a little bit, so I just kind of walked him through that. We had some Thai food, and yeah, then came back, did my sponsor call, and now I'm doing this. But yeah, typically these are going to be at 5 something in the morning, but yeah, today not going to happen. Anyway, so I just got back from VMworld. Very, very, I think, profitable trip. I didn't make any money going, but I was able to talk to some really interesting people, including one of the first contributors to Linux kernel. Um, and he's been involved in open source initiatives at like Intel and VMware. And so we're going to try and get him on the show and talk about kind of the ethos of open source, because he kind of had a deeper understanding of it than I did, and had a lot of information about how to grow an open source what's the word, an open source initiative in your company. So anyway, we'll get him on, and that'll be super cool, working at VMware now. The other thing is that, yeah, I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things, and that's always hard after a prolonged trip, because I wound up driving down on Monday, and got down there on Monday night. My father-in-law went with me, and he wound up going down to a place where you pull car parts off of dead cars on your own, and then you just you pay for the part, and it's a lot cheaper than going to a junkyard where they pull the cars apart themselves, because you have to pay for all the labor. So he found a bunch of parts that he needed, and that worked out pretty nicely. But yeah, and then I also did some videos, so just walking into the kind of the big expo room, and then the swag and the swag bag and things like that. I'm not really set up to do videos with my iPhone from the floor. I don't want to do the kind of where you hold it up with your hand and, oh, okay, yeah, you can see me now, and then if I look at somebody, then I wind up turning anyway. I'm not going to do that. What I'd like to do is I'd like to get set up with some kind of a jig or a setup, so that maybe I set up a tripod with some microphones on it. But anyway, so I didn't produce a lot of content that people are going to get out of VMworld, and my audio recorder just flat wouldn't work. There's something wrong with the SD card I had for it, and I just wasn't in a position to get a new one when I figured it out, because I wasn't recording any of those interviews until the second day, and I was kind of stuck at Mandalay Bay because my father-in-law had the truck because he was pulling parts off of cars. So anyway, not exactly what I was looking for, but anyway, it was very, very helpful. But yeah, things are going pretty well with everything else. I met a lot of people from a lot of companies that are doing interesting things. I don't know how applicable all of them are for developers, but I'm playing with some rubber bands. Sorry. But at the same time, a lot of them are interesting in different ways, and a lot of them were really focused on VMware, being VMware type vendors. But once I pressed them, it turns out that their products work on a lot of other areas, and essentially what you wind up with is, they knew that most of the people there were VMware people, and so that's what they were after. I've also noticed, just putting out there, that I just hopped on AngularDevSummit.com, and we have 270 people signed up for the conference, which is exciting. That's the most I've ever had at a developer summit, or remote conference or anything like it. So that's exciting. It looks like I've also sold some all access passes. I can pull that number up in a minute. Looks like we've sold 7 of them. And yeah, it looks like the majority of them have happened this week. So that also helps, just kind of cover everything that's got to get covered here. So yeah, exciting stuff there. Pulling stuff together for Ruby Dev Summit. Matt's just agreed to speak at Ruby Dev Summit, and we got him scheduled. So he's going to be speaking the last day of the conference, which is actually the second Monday of the conference, because I looked at doing it for 7 days in a row, but I do Sundays different, and I don't work on Sunday, and that's kind of a religious thing as much as it is kind of a personal thing, and so yeah, so we just lined it up for Monday, that next Monday, and I just have the last day of the conference there. So that last day of the conference, we have Uncle Bob Martin speaking, and then we have Matt speaking later on in the day. So that's exciting too. So lots of good stuff going on. I also landed a sponsor. So and that's I guess that's not really news, because I land sponsors probably, at least lately. I've been landing about a sponsor a week. But then, of course, I have to wait to get paid, because I send them an invoice and they have to send it to accounts payable, and then accounts payable, or gets around to paying me. So sometimes that can take 30 days. One of these sponsors that I lined up is 45 days. So yeah, that's why I went to VMworld on the cheap. I got my kids fidget spinners, which was just conference swag. Cost me $0. I really appreciate the company that, I looked at them. I said, I have 5 kids. Can I get 6 of those? And like, you said you have 5 kids. I'm like, but I want one too. So anyway, so I wound up getting actually 7 of them, because I got one for my wife as well. And then I didn't give one to the baby, because my wife's like, she'll get her finger stuck in it. So I gave her the ball. And anyway, I have an extra fidget spinner. But yeah, that all worked out, and things are looking pretty good. Now it's just a matter of getting things to come through, in time to pay some of the bills. Now, I am pretty sure that I can get, so I have 270 people who have signed up for the conference, and only 7 of them have the all access pass. Everybody else is a free attendee. So the story basically goes something like this. This next week, I'm going to be sending a couple of emails out and just saying, hey, look, here are the speakers, here's the schedule, here are all the things that you need to know. And then the other thing that I'm going to do is I am going to be reminding them to buy the all access passes. And the really interesting thing is that the couple of summits like this that I've looked at, the way that they do it is they sell the all access passes for $97, which is what I'm doing right now, up until the conference starts. So up until Monday morning at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, you can get the conference or the all access pass for $97. Once it starts, then it's $197. And so I can create a little bit of urgency there and let people know, hey, look, the price is going up. And then halfway through the conference, so like on Wednesday, so Wednesday night, I'll be telling people, hey, look, if you didn't get an all access pass at $97, you want one now, and you're looking at it for $197, I'm going to raise it to $497. So if you want it at the price that it's available at now, you have to get it now, and see if I can get a few more people to buy it that way. And then at the end of the conference, you can get it for $497. And I've actually attended a couple of conferences that did this with their content, and it worked out pretty well. I am also going to be sending a lot of, I'm splitting the money with the speakers. So if we can get a lot of people to sign up and buy passes, then the money goes to the speakers as well. So it should be pretty interesting just to see where it all goes. I've had some sponsors interested, and they were kind of holding out to see what kind of a turnout I would get, and I've surpassed all of what they wanted. So I'm also hoping that I can get that to happen as well, and I can run a Facebook campaign next week. But we'll see how it all works. I don't have much money for marketing at this point, so a sponsorship would kind of put me in that kind of a shape. So anyway, but yeah, things are looking good. Just kind of doing the follow up and stuff like that. I wound up missing a bunch of podcast episodes this week because I was at VMworld and I just couldn't get Skype to work. I got it to work on Tuesday morning, and that was it. So those episodes got recorded anyway, and things went okay. Wednesday, I'm not sure that Adventures in Angular even happened, so we'll see how that goes as well. But anyway, that's kind of where things are at with the business. Personally, I am back on the ketogenic diet. I think I've mentioned that before. I'm feeling really, really good. I actually had some low blood sugar this morning, and I didn't even take any medicine for it or anything. So, I'm starting to think that maybe I don't need my medicine. It sounds kind of nuts when I say it out loud, but I'm anyway. I'll keep monitoring my blood sugar and kind of make a call based on that. But that's exciting as well. So, trying to get content together, trying to make sure all the sponsorship stuff's going, and see where that goes. I did a product review for hover.com, which is a new sponsor, but I've been using them forever, and I just love their service. So I was like, oh, they sponsored, and I should do them a solid and do a product review. So I'll probably do more of those as time goes on as well, for different things. I actually have some products up here that that apply. But anyway, that's all I've got. So if you have any feedback for me or want to get a hold of me, you know where to find me. And I will be back on tomorrow at 5 something in the morning.